Shalom, shalom, Israel. First, one give all praise and glory to the Most High, which is Yahweh, and to the Son, Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Brother Zay coming back with you to the topic of coming out of the world. What does it mean to come out the world? Meaning you gotta stop following the ways of Babylon. You can't be going out partying 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. You can't be doing nothing on the Sabbath, doing your own pleasures on the Sabbath. Because coming out the world and discipline goes hand in hand. You got to train your body, not doing your own ungodly pleasures and everything like that. So you got to come out the world, follow the way of the truth and keep the commandments. So we'll get some precepts on how to do that and what does it mean to do that. So this is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues." So what does it mean not be partakers of her sins? Meaning don't follow the ways of her philosophies. Who's Babylon? America. Don't follow the ways of Babylon's philosophies and everything. Because you follow the ways of her philosophies, you're going to be confounded. You're going to have no knowledge. You're not going to be a wise man. You're going to be a fool. Where in the Bible does it say you have to do all this science with rockets and everything? Because it don't make any sense if you have ears to hear. For us, for the Israelites, we're spiritual. Our spirit cannot take so much of that man's philosophy. You be coming home from school wanting to pass out. You got Jake in school, they can't even stay up and everything because it's not in the spirit to learn about that. It's just not in our spirit. Our spirit is to keep the commandments. You rejoice when you keep the commandments. And everything you need to know is in this Bible. They got astrology and everything. They got everything you need to know in here. That's why they kept it away from us. Solomon was the wisest man. He knew about, H2O and everything like that. He was wise about everything. So yeah, don't be partaker for sins. Don't be going out partying on Saturday nights. Don't be buying on Saturdays nights, Friday nights. Don't be partying on Friday nights and Saturdays and everything. Don't be buying on Friday nights or Saturdays. That's the Sabbath. So don't be smoking weed. You gotta put all that aside and come into this truth and have discipline. Don't be eating no bats. Don't be eating your own thing you want to eat. We have a dietary law because we're above all people. So we have a standard we got to set in front of all people and be that light. The Israelite, because we're the light. So I come out that darkness and stop following the ways of Babylon. So now let's get 2 Corinthians. Because we're destroyed for a lack of knowledge, according to Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. So we gotta come back to this truth, keep the commandments. Isn't that the conclusion of the whole matter? So let's get 1 Corinthians. Shalakia, bear with me. Shalakia, 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 17. Verse 17. Wherefore come out from among them, and ye be separate. So Shalakia, this is 2 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 17. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. So you got to be separate among men. So you got to come out the ways of your worldly friends. If they smoking weed, partying, buying on the Sabbath and everything, you got to come away from that. Or for your females, if your girl's going out, twerking on every dude, getting popped by every dude, you got to come away from that. You can't be like that. You got to keep the commandments. Because that is the whole matter of man. That's the duty of man, is keep the commandments. So you got to stop, living in the ways of this world. You shouldn't be going to college to get a doctorate degree. In the Bible, it says you got to do stuff in moderate. You can't just overuse this world. You gotta use things in moderation, you know. So if you trying to go to the school, college, and everything to get a doctorate, look, that's going off, because you're overusing this world. In the Bible, it says a man with a small business is wise. What does it mean, have a small business? Meaning not doing that many things. Meaning if you're in school, go to work, come home, and do what you gotta do with the Bible. You know, do your study. You can't be going to school, after that going to practice, after that going out to eat, and after that going to partying, and after that going to Waffle House because you're hungry again. And after that coming home, going to sleep, and waking up and doing that all over again. You shouldn't be doing that. You gotta have a small business. Use things in moderation. Don't overuse it. So now let's get Psalms chapter 22. Psalms chapter 22. Slovakia. Bear with me. Psalms chapter 22 and verse 6. And it reads, But I am a worm and no man, a reproach of man and despised of others. Let me read that again. So this Psalms chapter 22 and verse 6. But I am a worm and no man, a reproach of man and despised of the people. So when you come to this truth and out the world, you're going to be despised by people. They're going to be like, brother, you're acting different. Or sister, you're acting different. You're not the same as you used to be. How come you're not going to come out and party with us? You remember that time you used to smoke weed? You know, come out at 6 a.m. and we went out at 4 p.m.? Remember that time, sister? Remember that time, man? Come on, come back to your old self. No, because it's not going to be in your spirit anymore. You're going to have that Holy Ghost. You know, you're not going to like doing the things that you used to like. You know, then when you say no, they're going to be like, oh, you different. Oh, you lame. You know, you're going to be despised of man. They don't want to hang around, they don't want to hang around you anymore. When they see you walking, and they walking, coming down one way, you're going up the other way, about to walk past each other, they're going to be looking away and everything, just so they won't be seen with you, or you won't say hey to them when they're around their friends. You know, so you're going to be despised of them. So it just won't be the same anymore. That energy, that spirit y'all had together, you know, bonding and everything, it just won't be the same. Because you're going to have that Holy Ghost, and they don't have that Holy Ghost. You know, because light and darkness don't go together. You know, once you turn a light on somebody, you're going to be despised. When you turn a light on somebody, you're blotting that, uncovering their darkness, their sins. They don't want people to see their sins. They don't want to stay in darkness. That's like coming home and everything, turning a light on, and the roaches was in the darkness, but they scattered back into a dark place. That's how they're going to be. You trying to bring out this word and everything, they're like, they're getting mad and everything. They can't take it. They about to damn near die because their spirit can't take it. They grunting and everything. It's like, why? Who invited him? Hey, Jay, they might get physical with you and try to kick you out. You know? Let's get John chapter 7 and verse 7. So that's why it's important to hang out with the people that's in this truth and everything, with the same mindset and the same spirit. You gotta try the spirit. If they can get down with this Bible and you can get down with this Bible, hey, those two spirits gonna click. But if you get down with this Bible and the other person can't get down with the Bible and it just is bad for the spirit, look, they're gonna despise you. Cause you get something they can't get. And they're gonna mock. They don't understand it. So that's 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 12 I just said about they're gonna mock something about what they don't understand. They're gonna be hating and look jealous. So let's get John chapter 7 and verse 7. The world cannot hate you, but it hated me. Let me read that again. So this is John chapter 7, verse 7. The world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil. So the world cannot hate you. Before you came to this truth, the world loved you. They love hitting you up saying how much you're gonna buy. You know what I'm saying. I don't want to, go all into it. If you have ears to hear, you want to go out and do this. I got some bad females coming over. What you trying to do? They loved when you was, in darkness. But when you came to light and everything, started keeping the commandments, and started reading and everything, when you got that Holy Ghost, they despise you, not because of you, but the testimony of this. By calling out their darkness and everything. They hate the testimony of Yahweh Shai, but they love the testimony of Jesus. Jesus, the Christianity dude, it says, come as you are. So, yeah. So let's get another one. So like I said, we're destroyed for lack of knowledge. We don't know about this and everything. So let me get just lucky bear with me. We don't know about our own heritage. How come everybody else got their own heritage but us? We're just black, so-called black men and women. Black isn't a heritage, first of all. And people let's say I call myself black when I'm brown skinned. That don't make any sense. So this is Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. So there's somebody trying to give you the commandments, give you the milk, give you the meat and the honey, and you don't want to know about it, you want to reject it, saying, I'll learn about it later. Look, he's going to reject you, So that's why when you got somebody trying to, give you the commandments to break down everything, you should take it in before all hell break loose, so you can know about what's going to happen, what to do, how to be girded up in the spirit, how to be on the Most High's good side when all hell breaks loose. You're going to be protected in those days. You're going to have a famine kick off and everything. You're going to have people dying from your left and to your right. Hey, look, you probably won't have an angel. You're going to have an angel around you feeding you, So let me read that again. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Who his people? The Israelites, the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, from your father lineage, your father descent. So you can have a white mom, and if your father is so-called black man, look, you're an Israelite. Or, Hispanic or Native American. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. What does it mean by that? Because when we get the kingdom of heaven, the people who's trying to prophesy right now, the prophets, are going to be a priest in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to be a priest in everything. But if you're out there doing your own ungodly lust, first of all, you're going to get destroyed. And second of all, you're going to be called the least greatest. You're going to be called the least in the kingdom. So the people who's prophesying right now, doing the works, they're going to be called the greatest in the kingdom. The people who's doing their own ungodly lust, they're going to be called the least. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. So we forgot about the law of thy God. That's why it's time to return. But if you received, so this is what it means to fear the Lord. If you receive this truth, when someone's trying to break it down to you, you got two choices. Do you want to keep doing your own ungodly lust? Or do you want to be submissive and serve the Most High with spirit and truth? That's what it means to fear the Most High. If you start serving Him and everything, if you go back to the world and everything, after you heard about the truth, He's going to punish you and judge you and kill you whenever it's time for you to be killed. That's what it means to be fearing the Lord. Knowing about His judgment, how He can judge you anytime. But if you don't fear the Lord and you hear about the truth and say, man, get that out of my face, and keep doing your own ungodly lust, you don't fear Him, the Most High. And He gonna come at you quickly at a time you don't even know it. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. So He gonna forget about us. That's what happened. He forgot about us because we didn't keep the commandments and everything. But now we're waking up as a people. But the people who still don't want to know about it, he don't know you. He forgot about you. You know? Let me get a precept upon that real quick. It's Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 9. He that turneth away his... Salak, let me read that again. Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 29. Salak, here. Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayers shall be an abomination. Shall be abomination. So your prayers are an abomination to the most high God. If you're turning away from hearing the law, if you don't want to hear about it. I'm out there passing flyers. Hey, if you're one of those people who got the flyers and you're doing it in the trash and everything, look, shame on you, because I'm out here trying to help you out and everything, trying to wake you up, but you don't want to hear the law. You think your prayer is going to be heard from the Most High? You know? I got the same people asking me, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Well, brother, what do you think about this? Have you been going to the scriptures, you know, dissecting it? How you going to 2nd Ezra chapter 15? You know? Luke chapter 21, 24? Matthew chapter 24? Well, so what do you think about it? Have you been doing your thing? You can't be coming to me with the same questions and think, I'm going to keep telling you. Because I already told you more than 5 times, brother. So let's get Jeremiah chapter 17. Jeremiah chapter 17. Verse 4. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. This is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4, and it reads, And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. So this is a heritage, it's not a religion, you know. People say, well, me and you got different interpretations of the Bible. We got different beliefs. How is this a different interpretation when I read Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14 to 17, and it says what it says? That's not a different interpretation. Look, so-called Jesus, he's a so-called black man. There ain't no different interpretation from that. This is our heritage. So how come a so-called white woman will try to come up to me talking about that? We got different beliefs, interpretations. That don't make any sense. That's different falsehood philosophies. You know, the so-called white man came up with, the so-called Chinese people came up with, the Indian people came up with. You know, that's why they worship rocks. Where in the Bible does it say you can worship a rock? You know what I'm saying? Sticks and stones. See, we're spiritual. We have a God. They only worship rocks and everything because they won't be able to see it. They're carnal. But Jake, you know, Israelites, we're more spiritual. You know? But this is, let me read that again. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. So he gave us a heritage, the Israelites and everything. And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. So what are we doing right now? We're in a land that we know not. We was brought here in slave ships according to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. You know? We haven't seen Israel in a long... I don't know when was the last time we saw Israel. We haven't been in our homeland anymore. We haven't seen that anymore. We're brought in the land that we know not. And we're serving our enemies right now. We're still in captivity. People living up like we're still not in captivity. You know, we're still in captivity. People got that Stockholm syndrome. A bad case of it. A really bad case of it. No, we're free. Look, hey, we're still in slavery. Believe it or not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. So we kindle a fire in the Lord's anger because we haven't kept the commandments. We was being folly, you know. On the Sabbath, we was partying. You know, we was smoking. We was being homosexuals. We was worshiping other gods. You know. So we was just going off and being folly. That's why it's time to come back. Because the more you push out this truth and everything, the more the Most High is going to magnify his presence on the earth with fire, hail, storm, you know, tempest of fire, famine, pestilence, That's what he's doing right now, because a lot of people are waking up, and the end is almost here. So what's the end? The end is Esau's world. Let me get that real quick. People think the world's gonna explode and everything. Look, the world's not gonna explode. Slovakia. Let me get that in 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. Let's see what the world what the end of the world is. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. Slovakia. Let me read 8 first. And let me read 7. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. Then answered I said, so this Ezra is asking, what shall be the parting asunder of the time? So when's going to be the end of times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? So what does it mean? We're going to read it in the next verse. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, of him Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. So Esau was born before Jacob. So Esau is ruling the world right now. But afterward, we got next. We're going to rule after Esau. Let's see this. So this is verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world. So what's the end of the world? Esau. They're going to be taking up that power seat. You know, they're going to be destroyed as a nation. They're going to be taking up that power seat. So who's ruling the world right now? If you look around, we have to go to the so-called white man for everything. Even the Chinese man, they have to go to the so-called white man for business loans. We got to go to the so-called white man for everything. You know? So they're in a power right now. For Esau, it's the end of the world. So when the end of the world is going to get destroyed. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we got next. Once they're when Yahweh Shah returns and everything to restore the people of Israel, to redeem them out this land and destroy this place, we got next. We want to take them into captivity. We're going to build our own kingdom. You know? So we got next. So let's back to the topic. Now let's get Isaiah. Now let's get Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. And it reads, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? So who's going to let him, who the Most High is going to let, know this thing about know the truth, Salakia, I can't get it out. The Most High going to let know this truth? Because he's going to be trying to teach a lot of people, but they're not going to understand it. They just can't, it doesn't click in their head. So it says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand? So who will he let understand this doctrine? Because not a lot of people can get it. It's not in their spirit to understand, because he has the key to who can understand it. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So what does it mean to be weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast? I mean, you got to forget about the other philosophies. You got to be a newborn in this truth. Once you hear about this truth, you got to forget about Christianity. Because if you mix old wine and new wine, you can't do that. You can't mix old doctrine and new doctrine. You can't do that. And I'm going to get a precept upon that. You know? So you got to be a newborn and get the milk first. You can't go straight to the meat. If you try to feed a baby some meat, look, he's going to end up choking. It's too much for him. So when you come to this truth, you can't dive straight into deep parables, dark sayings. You can't dive into, deep prophecies and everything. You got to get the milk first. Like Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14. You know, Romans chapter 11 verse 1. You got to get the milk and everything. You know, book of Exodus, the first 5 books of the Bible. You know, that's the milk. That's the basics. And then when you start getting built up in this truth, when you become like a teenager in this truth or something like that, that's when you start eating meat. You know, so So let's get a precept upon that. Let's get Matthew chapter 9. Matthew chapter 9 and verse, Slocky, bear with me, in verse 16. So this is Matthew chapter 9 and verse 16. No man putteth a piece of new cloth into an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. So what it's saying, you can't put something old and something new together. It's just going to make it worse, you know? Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. So you can't put old things like Christianity and new things, which is just truth, together. Hey, your mind's gonna explode. You know, but in Christianity, it doesn't say that. Look, you're gonna be confounded day and night. That's why we gotta put it away. You gotta forget about it and come to this truth. So you put you bring your new self and bring this truth into your new self, your new mind and everything. You're gonna be preserved in everything. You're gonna understand this knowledge. You're gonna be a wise man. So forget about the old doctrines, the false doctrines, and come into this truth. Put off the old ways. And let me get another example. You can't say in this truth and everything, you know, saying that you keep the commandments, but still having that old man with you. You gotta be that new man. Put off that old man. What's that old man? Still doing your own ungodly lusts in the world. Put off that old man and put on that new man. That new man's keeping the commandments, being the wise man. And for your females too. And vice versa. You feel me? So now let's go into Sirach. Ecclesiasticus. So this is going to be Ecclesiasticus chapter 17. 17 and verse 18. Whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline. So like I said, this is coming out the world and discipline goes hand in hand. So let me read that again. Ecclesiasticus chapter 17 and verse 18. Whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love doth not forsake him. So who's that firstborn that's nourished with discipline? That's Israel, the Israelites. Let me get a precept on that. I gotta get precepts to show you. I gotta prove myself, right? So this Exodus chapter 4. We gotta prove all things. So this Exodus chapter 4 and verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. So now we got the fact of the matter. Israel is the firstborn. Yeah, Esau was born first, but Esau was born first and everything, but Israel is the firstborn of Yahweh Shah, the Most High and everything, because we're his people. We're the one who's going to inherit all things. Isn't the world made for our sakes, but we didn't keep the commandments or anything? If you read 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54, it would say that the world was for our sake. So now that we read that, now let's get 2 Ezra chapter 18 verse 14. So let me read that one more time. So this is 2 Ezra chapter 17 and verse 18. Whom being his firstborn, Israel, which is Israel, he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love doth not forsake him. So now we got to be made with discipline. What's discipline? Keep the commandments, you know. Having a dietary law is discipline. You shouldn't be hating it because it helps your body. It helps your spirit. So now let's get Ecclesiasticus chapter 18 and verse 14. So that was Ecclesiasticus chapter 17 and verse that was Ecclesiasticus chapter 17 verse 18. And we're going to get Ecclesiasticus chapter 18 verse 14. He hath mercy on them that receive discipline, and that diligently seek after his judgments. Now that you know that discipline is keeping the commandments and everything, look, he has mercy on you if you keep the commandments. If you, asking for mercy and everything, and you're not keeping the commandments, look, he's not going to care about that. I mean, he might have some type of mercy, but it's going to be rare, But the people who, always trying to seek after him diligently and everything in this truth, always trying to keep the commandments to the best of their ability, if they're trying to keep the commandments to the best of their ability, look, he's going to have mercy on that people, on that person. And second of all, if you're not keeping the commandments or anything, or you don't want to keep the commandments, he's not even hearing your prayers. That's Satan hearing your prayers to give you the illusion that the Most High, that Jesus is hearing your prayers. That so-called Jesus is hearing your prayers. Yeah, so let's get Luke chapter 9 real quick.